name is Sandra Burke, and I'm the Executive Director of Winona Volunteer Services.
Are you originally from Winona? If not, where are you from?
I am not originally from Winona. I lived in Chicago, Illinois, also the south side of Chicago in a place called Calumet City. And I ended up in Winona because I went to St. Mary's College. So that's how I got to Winona.
What are your favorite hobbies?
I used to be an avid needle pointer and knitter, but luckily that passion has since dwindled, and now I just love to garden. I love to be outdoors, love cooking, hanging out with friends, just a little less stressful than that knitting and needle pointing.
What are some of your favorites in life? Examples, music, movies, etc.
Favorites. Well, I just love to travel. Big trips, small trips, whatever trip I can plan. Love to just go somewhere and be somewhere else. I love it when my husband plays music with his brothers. The Burke Band is marvelous. And I also love just being with people who can make me laugh. Something that I think is just very good for oneself and just makes me less serious. So I love to do that. And if I could be around a fire, love just sitting around the fireplace and hanging out with, be it my husband or a group of friends.
Who inspires you the most and why?
I don't think it's just one person. I really get inspired, for instance, being around my staff. You know, wanting to do things better. How can we make volunteer services a better place to be? I get inspired by our clients. Some individuals who just are struggling, but they have a positive outlook on life and they keep going and they're just like, hey, things are okay. I get inspired by the thank you notes that we receive from individuals to say, my mom really loved getting those meals from volunteer services. And so all of that together just helps me want to keep being better.
If you could have dinner with anyone, living or dead, who would it be and why?
Well, I would love to have dinner with my grandparents again. It would be great. They always argued back and forth. My Nana and Grandpa could just raise Cain, and they were married for almost 66 years, so they loved each other to death, but they could also make me laugh quite a bit. My grandmother had a very sharp tongue, and she would let you know exactly where you stood with her. And I would just love to hear them again and be able to share what I'm doing and see if she would provide me any course correction in my life.
What made you want to work in your current position?
When I applied for this position, it said, Director of Winona Volunteer Services. So I thought it was a volunteer resource center. And in my previous job over at Rape Crisis in Fayetteville, North Carolina, worked with volunteers, got them trained, and I loved working with volunteers. So I'm like, wow, this is great. I get to work with volunteers and, direct them to community opportunities. Little did I know that it was also a food shelf, a thrift store, and coordinated assistance. And it turned out perfect. It couldn't have worked out any better had I really known what I was getting into.
What are some day-to-day tasks in your position?
It depends on the day. So, most days it's kind of the routine, make bank deposits and do monthly reports and, help out if staff needs me for anything. Answering the telephone, but really a lot is thinking ahead, planning, looking what's coming next. Right now we're thinking of March. We've got a March campaign campaign coming up. So it's how do we prepare for that? What's going to be those activities? Also keeping abreast of what's happening in our community and in the state of Minnesota, and how is that going to affect some of our clients. So, a lot of it is trying to be proactive and thinking what if scenarios, and then going, hey, what do we need to do to be prepared if something like that happens?
What are your goals for the future?
Well, a fun goal is I would love to get my little travel buddies to do one more trip that really pushed us again. That there would be a lot of preparation and mental and physical activity in it. So they don't know that yet, but if I could do that before we get too old, that would be great. Certainly with volunteer services, there will be in a few years that I'm going to need to retire. So making sure that the agency is ready for that next executive director and to do my job to make that transition. And certainly we've got one more goal would be to create a new space within our current location for volunteer services.
What's your favorite part of your job?
Oh, well, every day I come in, and there's the opportunity to really make someone's life better. It may be saying hello to a volunteer. It may be just talking with a staff member on a project. But it's also the clients and the people that come here for services. And to know handing out some food or providing a voucher is going to make a difference in somebody's life, that keeps me coming in every day for the past 20 years.
What are you most thankful for in life?
I have a lot to be thankful for, and I would say certainly having my faith, I think, is very, very important to me, and I am thankful that I have that. My grandparents certainly helped establish faith in my life, and my parents certainly have continued that, and I think that provides me what I need to keep going and to just kind of be the best person that I can be, and know that things are going to be okay.